Welcome back. Daily show hitting you in the nose. We got Julian in here. Precision Point Armory. It was really good to have you in the studio. And honestly, I was thinking about this. And Christmas is right around the corner. And what do people need?
Well, they need gifts.
They need gifts, and they need good firearm training.
Right.
It goes hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? But it really is good to have you in the studio today. And this is something that's really important. And especially when it comes to, training and the proper ways that we can, manage our firearms and all the things that pertain to it. And I mean, you've had a lot of experience, over 30 years of it. And, being a USCCA certified, what does that, really bring to the table? And what's that break down to?
So basically the USCCA certification, that's a United States Concealed Carry Association. They represent all states across the board, and you can get insurance. You can follow their curriculum for training. It's basically a standard for training nowadays when it comes to firearm training.
Well, I really appreciate you being here. And, spending 30 years and having that background and just being involved, take me through how it even began, 30 years ago.
So I grew up around firearms, and over time it just really became a passion. My father was very big into hunting and bird dogs and things, and he really instilled in us boys as young children gun safety was a major thing, and being sure your gun's unloaded and controlling the muzzle of your gun. And like I said, it's just become a lifelong passion. Over 30 years, I've shot rifles and shotguns and pistols and archery equipment, and I've hunted all over the U.S., Canada, and in Africa. So I've traveled with firearms, hunted with them. I've been on horseback with firearms. So I have a pretty extensive background with, like I said, firearms and archery equipment.
That's incredible. Well, what do you enjoy the most when it comes to shooting? What's your firearm of choice?
So I have a lot that I really like, but lately I've been shooting a Springfield Armory Prodigy 9mm with a red dot sight on it, and a couple other newer pistols that are a little bit performance style automatic pistols. But I always seem to go back to the old tried and true good old revolver. Nice. That's what my father had me shooting when I was young, and I like to shoot them. I like how they work. I like the simple functioning of them, and you can get some really good accuracy out of them. I really think a revolver is underrated for concealed carry too. Everybody wants to go into a semi-automatic firearm, which I have no problem with. But I think the revolvers are really underrated when it comes to that.
Absolutely. And I'm going to talk about that here in a couple of minutes. But, going back real quick to your hunting days, what was the bird dog of choice? Just because I'm curious.
So my dad always had English setters or Brittany's. He raised them a lot, but either one of those.
Really cool. Well, take me into what leads up to Precision Armory. 30 years, and did you do something prior to this, or was this something
Okay. I've had several other jobs and been self-employed pretty much since I was 18, 20 years old. Mm-hmm. I've worked other jobs for other people also, but it really grew out of my passion of wanting to teach people how to handle firearms safely. Not so much just shooting, but I think there's a real need for firearm safety. I think people really need it and don't know what they're doing, and there's a lot of new people out there that really could use the training. I see it a lot in the concealed carry classes. People come in and they don't know how to take their firearm apart. A lot of them don't know how to even load it. Are
you serious?
Oh yeah, I see it a lot. And what I would like to do in my commitment to this is to get people some prep classes and some prior education to complete those courses and do better. And I will be offering concealed carry and renewal courses. I have some of those scheduled on my calendar as of now.
Okay.
But what I'm really wanting to focus on is more one-on-one training, and specifically safety training and safe handling and safe storage. And I also want to do some stuff to work with families and kids. I think that's a major thing.
Totally.
If you have young children, they should be taught safely, and you should store and handle your firearms safely, I think, is a major thing for people to know.
I totally, and it's one of those things where, I mean, you see it, so many times, and I'm sure you see it a lot more just because you're in that industry and environment, but how many stories of these things could be prevented, because of accidents or anything like that. And it all comes down to not having the proper education and not having, proper training too,
Correct. And, there's 4 major safety rules with firearms. And one of the major ones is to keep your finger off the trigger. And guns don't shoot themselves. They don't fire on their own. You have to exert some physical force or push the trigger for them to fire. So if you follow that major safety rule, you can avoid a lot of mistakes. And like I said, there's other safety rules too, like keeping your muzzle in a safe direction, not pointing your firearm at things you don't want to destroy. All very important, but number one that could avoid a lot of accidents is keeping your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire a firearm.
Absolutely. And, I was doing a little prep work and going over some of the papers. And you also have some really cool, opportunities when it comes to paper targets, but also moving ones too, and all these different opportunities. Can you fill me in a little bit more on those?
So I don't have an indoor range. I have an outdoor range set up, and it's a bermed facility for safe shooting. So all rounds will be going into a dirt berm that surrounds the shooting area. We have 6 paper target stands for shooting your normal paper targets and concealed carry qualification. I also have 4 steel silhouette targets. All my steel targets are made by Challenge Targets. Mm-hmm. They're done right. They're set at an angle so you don't get ricochets off the steel back at you. Like I said, we have 4 silhouette steel targets, and then I also have 4 challenge targets, which are moving targets. So you have to have some skill with tracking, and once you shoot a target off, they'll move a different position. So you're not able to time them and get the movement down on some. It takes some skill and stuff to get used to. So I like to have some things like that to keep it fun for students and keep things interesting.
Well, and I think it's really a good thing to talk about is the philosophy when you go into these type of programs and types of training environments too, because a lot of times I feel like, having the proper trainer and that connection really does go a long way when it comes to, receiving the proper education too and understanding if it's right for you. What's your philosophy when it comes to, how you do your trainings across the board, from the basic beginner to the more advanced?
Well, everybody's going to be a little different, and I like to take each situation in consideration and work with that student individually. Like somebody that doesn't know as much, we're probably going to start at the beginning, and we're going to do some things without any live ammo, some firearm handling, and we're going to use some dummy rounds or what is called snap caps, which don't actually fire. It's a safe way to dry fire your firearm. You can do pistol or holster work, and you can practice your trigger work and drawing and things without any issues of live ammo going off or having a accidental discharge. But then I also will work with more advanced students and help them perfect their form and their trigger pull and things like that. So across the board, it really just is going to depend on the student and what they need. But most of what I'm seeing is people that are just uneducated and don't know anything.
Do you, and that's kind of where this question leads in, and it kind of, you let it in great, because did you work with folks on, those proper situations on when is, I'm sure the proper time to, if it comes to a discharge of firearm in terms of, self-defense and concealed carry
Yeah, very much so. In the concealed carry classes, we will go over all the Illinois laws and what is justifiable to use your firearm. But ultimately, what you will learn in class is that if you can avoid a situation at all costs, the best thing to do is to avoid it. Nobody essentially wants to have to shoot anybody, or even I hope I never even have to draw my firearm personally, but it is a tool that's there that you can use for your personal defense and safety. And I want people to be able to know when and how to use that if they have to, if their life depends on it.
Well, and now that leads into it too, because it seems like you train a variety of individuals. We were just talking about that, and what's it like working? What do you get the most joy out of? Is it working with the nervous beginners? Is it working with the new gun owners? Or is it the experienced folks out there? What really makes you the happiest when it comes to the training part of things?
So it all really makes me happy if I can help anybody improve, but I get the most joy out of helping that student that comes in scared. I mean, thoroughly scared. And I've seen people literally shaken when they hold a unloaded firearm. Wow. And I've worked with them over a few weeks, and within a few sessions, I see them where they're very comfortable and shooting very well. My wife, for instance, she's been married to me for 22 years, so she's been around firearms for a long time. Her father had some firearms, but she was never into pistols. Several months ago, I talked her into going shooting with me. She was scared to death. Her and her friend both that went with us, and they really didn't want to go, I didn't think. I talked them into going to the shooting range, and by the time we left, they both said, "Hey, we had fun. Can we do that again?" There you go. Now, within a couple months, I've got them where they both have their own firearms now, and they're confidently getting their own shooting lanes, and
that's awesome.
Shooting bullseyes on their targets. And I hate to admit it, but they might outshoot me sometimes.
So one thing I saw too is that you also do train, when it comes to, even women who might be nervous and want private instruction, and anyone that really wants that, it seems like too.
Sure, yeah, I have all kinds of packages, couples packages, where I'll do like a 3-part training package with a couple.
Does the husband ever come in and give you like the corny joke, like, "I'm really nervous about doing this,"
Yeah, I'll get that every once in a while. They really get embarrassed, like I said, when the wife outshoots them when they're done.
I bet. Why don't we do this? We'll come back and we'll talk about all the opportunities and classes you offer, and we'll talk a little bit more about Precision Point. You stay there, and we'll be here in the studio. 9:32 is the time. Our daily show comes back to you on Roku and Apple Podcasts next.
Throughout all life stages, you need someone in your corner, guiding you on your health and wellness journey. At OSF Healthcare, that's your primary care provider. Your OSF primary care provider is there for every stage of life. Find a provider today at osfhealthcare.org/primary.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
What's up? It's Mike Keith. What's up, bro? Back to spotlight other amazing alumni and how they discovered their path at Lewis and Clark. Let's jump into it. This is Dwight Wirtz, president of Wirtz Welding and Tank Service, the nation's premier distributor of tank trailer parts. Dwight has been an outspoken and long-time supporter of the college and is the current chairperson of Lewis and Clark Board of Trustees. Oh, and he's a Lewis and Clark grad.
I'm Dwight Wirtz, and I am a trailblazer.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Tomorrow isn't built by dreamers. It's built by doers. Because progress doesn't work unless we do. So at Armory, we've been hard at work putting energy to work for you. Adding underground cables, installing advanced switches and sensors, storm hardening poles and power lines, making the energy grid stronger today so it can meet your needs tomorrow. Learn about projects in your area at Armory.com/energyfuture.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
I wrapped it up and sent it with a note saying I love you, I meant it. Now I know what a fool I've been. But if you kissed me now, I know you'd fool me again. Last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away.
Welcome back, Daily Show. We're back in here with Ben and Precision Point. I cannot say that word. It's like I'm having something going on with me. Enough about me. Back with Ben, though. You know, we were teasing the different programs. You do offer quite a bit, and we were talking during the break, and you have this laid out really, I think, efficiently for not only you, but really for the consumer to make sure, you know, it's really all staying consistent.
Right. Yeah. So on my calendar and my website, you can book the services through there. It's www.precisionpointarmory.net.
I'm glad one of us can say it.
But you can go on there and see all the services that I offer. I've kind of got things set up where Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are open to hourly training to work on whatever students want to work on. Tuesday and Thursday, I have some of these classes and courses that are 2 to 3 hours long. Most of them are 2 and 1 hour classes. And I kind of have them flip-flop so you can hit them at different times if you need to. Fridays, there's some couples date nights at the range.
That's cool.
I'll take on couples. Like I said, there's a 3-part training system that you can do one-on-one, or I'll handle couples with that. And then I also have some memberships I've developed, which are 6, 12, and 24 sessions per year, where you can come in and shoot and work with me, and then I'll send you home with take-home drills and things to practice during the weeks really that you're not there.
Well, I like it. I just showed the website on the screen. That, again, is PrecisionPointArmory.net. I will learn this. It's like, well, I don't know what happened to me, but something's going on. I love the idea, though. When you guys go online, it's laid out perfectly, where you know what date it starts and all of that when you book. And really, I think that's a good, efficient way to do it, because in the world of tech, man, you gotta really make it easy for the people when it comes to it.
Right, and there's some other links on there too. Just about every shooting range around the area. I have all that stuff listed on there, so you have a lot of options on where you could go and what you can handle.
You got your range procedures on here and all that, but then you have the local shooting ranges and gun clubs there, and
right.
And I think that's awesome that you provide that resource too. That's great. Getting into this, I think it was important to show that, because safety is a really big component, and I think that's something that for a lot of people that are nervous, because for the folks that aren't nervous, they're going to sign up for the concealed carry class. But I think there is that gap with, like you said, the unloaded firearm, and maybe, shaken with when you hold it. And to talk about range safety a little bit and just your outdoor range, I think that's a really good topic and something that you focus on your website and even just in the early part of the conversation.
Right. Yeah, the range safety is the most important thing. We want everybody to have a good time, but we want to be safe. We want to avoid any accidents that could happen. So every session is going to start with at least a short safety briefing. If you take the handgun 101 or the concealed carry class, the first couple chapters of the course are going to be on safety and safe handling, and that's really instilled very thoroughly throughout the whole program, and so on and so forth.
Well, even during the break, I thought it was really interesting, and I don't know if we should break the fourth wall, but just how, maybe sometimes it would be the individual that doesn't necessarily mean to violate anything, but just learns learns bad habits and things like that. And I think it's really good to instill that across everybody, because it really is something that is so vital to, your not only your firearm ownership, but when it comes to just safety in general.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's good for the community too, for anybody that's, wondering about gun, firearm training and all of that, this is done right.
Yeah, we want to produce basically safe, responsible firearm owners.
Really cool. It's really cool. And now, how do we get involved, and what's the best way to call and contact you? Is it by calling you?
So any way you'd like. You can call my phone number, 618-779-9947. You can email from the website. I have Facebook, Instagram. You can message me on Messenger. I'm not hard to get a hold of at all.
Absolutely. And, I really appreciate it. And, for private training, just one more time, how does that look? Does it go by hour? Is it half hour? Is it just dependent on?
Like I said, it depends on what you want to do. The one-on-one training is usually hourly or by session. Everything online is priced basically by session. The courses are all priced per course. So that's pretty much how it does. And then, like I said, I can work a custom package for you on whatever you want, but I do offer a lot of options with the classes, courses, a 3-part training system, and then if you really want to get in depth with things, you can do the membership. It does save you a little bit of money on doing a bunch of hourly sessions.
Yeah. That's really good, man. I just think this is awesome, and it's really good to know, and not even, patronizing you, but whenever you get to talk with somebody that has a lot of passion and really does things the right way with responsibility and just laying it out and being organized. And I think that's a big thing when it comes to this. And it's just great to have you on the show. And I'm excited to have you back on to talk about, more ways we can utilize you. I love the couples idea. I mean, this is cool. I mean, no better way to get out some aggression, than showing your husband you can shoot a target right between the eyes,
You know what? Me and my wife, every session, we get our 6-spot target, and we get our guns, and we get warmed up, and then by the end of the session, we each get a hostage target.
Nice.
And we put it out about 7 to 10 yards, and we see who can do better at saving the hostage and not shooting the hostage accidentally. So it just makes things a little fun. Or we'll get some targets at the range with different sized ducks or something on it, and just make things enjoyable.
That's awesome, man.
Kind of a little challenging, You
can learn more on PrecisionPointArmory.com or PrecisionPointArmory.net, and then Facebook and Instagram at I'm telling you, I don't know.
We're going to try this 5 or 6 times.
Precision Point Armory. I told you I can do this. I do get paid, by the way. But Facebook and Instagram is where you can find them. You can find them online, and we'll link everything in a write-up on RiverBender. 9:42 is the time. Ben, thanks for stopping by.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We'll take a quick break. Daily show on a Thursday morning comes your way next. You stay there, and I'll be right here.